Today was the day I finally apologized. I arrived at the house as nighttime dwelled. I took a deep breath and readied myself before exiting my car and walking towards the front door. I rang the doorbell and waited. Eventually, the door opened and a woman came out. She stared at me, confused. I cleared my throat and introduced myself. Her expression immediately went from confusion to disgust. It's not surprising, considering what I did to her. What makes you think you can show yourself after what you did? You have some nerve, you know that. Have you ever considered how your actions have affected me? She hissed. I sighed and then started talking. Listen, I want to tell you that I'm so sorry for what I did to you. I never considered the consequences of my actions. Neither did my friends. I paused and lowered my head. I quickly forced the tears to come out. Then I raised it to look at her in the eyes. I let out a quick sob as I continued. We thought she would be okay. I sniffled. I'm sorry, Miss Cardama. Please forgive me. As I uttered the last word, a long silence passed as I waited for her to say something. Ms. Cardama didn't say anything as she stared at me with eyes that pierced mine. Then she threw back her head and laughed. She laughed in my face as I stood there stunned and confused. She stopped laughing. She looked back at me with those same piercing eyes with additional mockery. You thought you could come here and just throw that slop at me and call it an apology? She grinned. My daughter is a mere shadow of herself, and it's all your fault. I shook my head, trying to deny the obvious truth, but she saw right through me. You're on your own, Ethan. You can't be helped, nor can you ever be forgiven, she said, letting out a wicked smile as I fell to my knees. She quickly knelt and grabbed my chin, forcing me to make eye contact. The tears were streaming down my face harder now. Scram, you little shit! She let go and went back into her house. The slamming of the door was deafening as I lay there shaking. I slowly got up, returned to my car, and drove off. Upon returning to my apartment, I flipped on the light switch and immediately tensed up as I felt something grip my shoulders. I turned to face the wall. I stared at my shadow and the petite shadow that clung to mine. I told you. A soft voice giggled into my ear.